in. I'm Tiara. If you guys haven't been following me very long, I just wanted to give you a little background on myself and my business, Gypsyfae Creations. I started making soap probably back in 2013. I made one loaf of soap. It was like my first ever bar of soap, loaf of soap. Didn't turn out exactly the greatest, and it didn't stick with me. It wasn't one of my passions back then. I didn't continue to make soap. I actually bought myself a sewing machine and taught myself how to sew. I was making like baby clothes and blankets and stuff like that. And from there, I started making bath bombs. Did that for a few years, probably by 2015, until recently I was making bath bombs. I've since stopped, and I swear this has something to do with the soap today. One of the bath bombs that I used to make was called Hippie Chic, and it was purple. It had some patchouli and sandalwood, a little lavender, flowers, and some glitter on it. It was a really big seller. A lot of my customers loved it. It was my personal favorite, and since I haven't been making bath bombs anymore, I thought I'd pay a little tribute to it and make a soap called Hippie Chic using those same ideas and designs. So without further ado, let's get started. Starting off with my oils, I've melted them down. There's some castor oil, coconut oil, palm, some olive oil, and some shea butter in here. That is my recipe. And then left at room temperature, I also have my lye water solution with some sodium lactate in it, and pouring that down the handy dandy kitchen vibrator. Give that a whirl and get it to a light trace. Doesn't take much with this guy, so we'll set that to the side. So the bath bomb, Hippie Chic bath bomb that I made was a purple, all purple bath bomb, but I've got two separate purples here that I'm working with. So I'm going to split this batch into two, and I've used these two color purples before, and I really like them. I used them in the amethyst soap. So in this one I have some Orchid Mica by Brambleberry. In love with this purple. I mixed it with some oil. Put that in one of these. And then in the other bucket, I've got some Orchid Purple Mica, but this one's from Nurture Soap. Two totally different looking purples, but they're both called Orchid. And I love how these two colors mingle together. Two colored purples mingle together. Alright, so I'm going to stick blend that. Trying to get as much off of this as I can, because I don't think I'm going to be using it again. Alright, just going to wipe down the sides of this, make sure everything has been incorporated. Looks good to me. Move over. Add some on my spatula still. Alright. Move it over to this purple. And then we're ready to put the fragrances in. I've got two separate fragrances here from Nature's Gardens and Candle. One's patchouli, one's sandalwood, and my inspiration for the name, Hippie Chic. Sandalwood is such a powdery, good smell. It really evens out the patchouli. Not everyone likes patchouli. It is definitely a love or hate thing. But I think once you mix the sandalwood in it, it makes it for a very like mellow smell. It mellows it out anyway. Yeah, I like patchouli. Some people think it's just offensive. And I'm gonna stir this in. Smelling like Hippie Chic in here. This is such an unusual feeling because I'm used to making the bath bombs. And now I'm making soap with it, and I like it so much better. Bath bombs are just, there's too much mess involved with bath bombs. And I know soap making is a mess too, but for some reason I just find bath bombs such a hassle. And I'm sure eventually one day I'll feel like I'm in the mood to make them again, but right now all I care about is soap. I'm also doing some wax melts. So you guys can stay tuned to my Etsy shop for that. They will be making appearances in there. They're going to be kind of like a fandom themed wax melts. So I was making candles for a little bit, and I just feel like wax melts are probably a little more universal, that everyone can use them. Not everyone likes to burn candles. I know I do both. I have a huge collection of candles. I have like a closet of candles, and I only use specific scents during specific times of the year. Oh no, there's purple all over my floor. Alright, let me move this in to get a better view for you guys. Alright, technique I'm using for this is an in the pot swirl. So I'm just going to pour one purple into the other. And hopefully they don't mix too much, that you guys can still see how well they go together. I know I could have done a different technique to make them pop a little more, but this really like makes the soap, I don't know how to describe it. It mingles so well. That is the word I can think of. It creates like a marbled look to it. Alright. Scrape this out. And then we're going to pour it into the mold. Scrape this guy out. So I'm probably going to let this set up a little bit so that I can work with the top of it. I've got some different flowers or flower petals to put on top. The original bath bomb had lavender petals on it. And if you're a soap maker, you learn. At least I have learned there's no secret to putting lavender flowers or petals on soap. They turn colors. Something happens when you put lye on them. They make brown spots in your soap. I don't know how to avoid that. So instead of using lavender, I've got some different flowers to put on top here. I've got some jasmine flowers. There's a little sample that I chose in my last Brambleberry order, and some marigold flowers, petals that I thought would look really nice on there. And one of the other reasons why I chose those two flowers is because when I cut this soap, I've got some embeds here that are feathers, and they're yellow and they're white. So I thought the yellow and white flowers on top would accentuate it. Alright, so I'm going to give this a whack. That's just to get some air bubbles out and make sure everything is down in there and even. So letting this sit, and then I'll come back with a spoon. So while this was setting up, I started thinking about flowers, because it is so freaking cold in Maryland, and I know it's colder elsewhere, Not saying we have it bad here, but I'm ready for spring. I am so ready for spring. I'm ready to garden. I'm ready to make my outside look great and wonderful and sit out in it. Recently, it hasn't snowed. We usually get one really big snow. We've just got ice, and I actually fell and busted my knee on some ice. And that was a pain in the butt because it still hurts and it's taken forever to heal. You know, I had some leggings on, so that didn't go so well with my poor leggings. But I guess it was better than having nothing on. Anyway, flowers. I'm just in love with all flowers. I'm not the greatest gardener. I try, and I started thinking, what are my favorite flowers? What do I want to grow this year? And I was kind of stuck in between morning glories and peonies. I think those are my two favorite flowers, and I have been unsuccessful with my peonies. They grow, but they don't grow flowers, so I don't know what's up with that. I think it's the soil. I have a lot of clay in my yard, and no matter how much of it I dig up, it's still there. So that could be my issue. Morning glories are pretty easy, I think. Oh, look at these pretty little flowers. They look so pretty on the purple. These are adorbs. Morning glories, I just love all the different colors that they come in and how they climb up everywhere. And they're just one of my favorites. They're not the easiest to make a bouquet out of by any means, but they're the prettiest to look at in my garden. And I think I'm going to try doing some more of those this year, and I've kind of given up on the peonies, but I do like a bouquet of peonies. Peonies? Such a funny word. So if you guys have a favorite flower, let me know down below, whether you like to grow them or you just like looking at them, or maybe you have a tattoo of them. I don't have any flower tattoos. I think I need some though. I do have a couple tattoos, just not flowers, or more insects. So, alright, I'm sprinkling some of these marigold flowers on top of here, if I can get them out of the bag. And there's some stem in here. I don't want that on there, which is making a mess otherwise. Alright. See, I don't want that on there. What is that? Get out of there. Alright, and then I'm going to top it off with some glitter. Yay! And then some isopropyl alcohol. And then I'm going to let this sit 24 to 48 hours. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to cut it and stick these guys on the front of it. And hopefully we get a Hippie Chic looking soap. I wanted to give you guys a close-up of it because I'm just so smitten with it. Loving the flowers on there. Gorgeous. Alright, back the next day to cut this Hippie Chic. And it's still a little soft, but not too worried about it. Just cut off an end there. I'll use them for samples. I'm cutting it on the side just in case any of these flowers want to cause any type of like track or drag down the middle of the soap. Little piece out there, and look at those purples. I love them. It's way sticky, but it's okay. I can do this. Hence, I'm impatient, and therefore I just have to cut it. But I really love these purple swirls in here. If I don't cut it today, I'm not going to be able to cut it for another 2 days, so. doing it now. Some of the flowers are falling off. That happens. You just want to make sure that you try and push them in when the soap is still wet, but I'm just having them fall off because I'm cutting it and they're just coming off. But it's fine. And then once I'm done cutting these, I will put the embeds on the front of them. One of my favorite techniques for embeds. They're such like dreamy colors. I'm attracted to purple, even though it's not my favorite color. For some reason I just act like it's my favorite color. I don't know, it's weird. Like if I go out shopping, I'm more likely to pick up something blue or purple than, I don't know, my favorite color is green. But it's just such a fantastic color for this soap. Yep. Perfect. And I'll just trim up this guy a little bit. This to the side, and as you can see, I've got a pile of flowers that didn't stick on. Alright, so I've got some melt and pour that I'm going to put in the microwave for like 25 seconds something, and then I'm going to apply it to the back of these little feather guys. Pull them out. Isn't that cute? We did a little pottery class. This one was mine. It's alright. I'm like not saying I could sell it or anything, but it's one of my things that I wanted to try because I'm really crafty, and I thought maybe one day I will be able to afford a pottery wheel and keep making that. Alright. Paintbrush, melt and pour. And I've switched to my glove hand here because I'm trying not to make any type of impressions or fingerprints in it. So I'm just going to paint on some of this soap. It's not easy doing this one-handed, but I'm going to manage it. Something like that. Whoa. So I try to be quick here and try not to be clumsy and make a mess. And I'm not very coordinated. I'll admit it. I will admit it. I am so clumsy. Alright. And this is all cold processed soap. It's great. These feathers are made out of cold process. The soap's cold processed. I love it. And And so I'm going to keep doing that until they all have a little feather design on the front. So there you have it. I will be sure to leave the links to everything down below, of like where I got the feather molds from and all the colors and the scents, as I usually do. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned for more fun soap making videos. Questions or comments, leave them down below. And if you want to purchase a bar of this soap, it will be available on my Etsy shop on March 3rd. So thanks for watching, guys, and smell you later.